Welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into something that many of us are interested in, how to build a lasting self-love through simple yet effective inner work practices. We hear about self-love a lot of times, but many of us don't know how to cultivate it. And most importantly, how to keep it. I'll share a few simple practices that worked for me, and I hope that they work for you as well. Before we dive in, let's real quick talk about inner work and what inner work is. For me, inner work, it's simply the process of getting to know myself on a deeper level using different techniques and tools, which I'll put under the umbrella of self-awareness, because you have to be self-aware in order to get to know yourself. It's about understanding our thoughts, emotions, our past experiences, how they played a role into building who we are, into the way we respond to people, how we show up in the real world, so we can eventually start to heal and grow and live more authentically with self-love and self-compassion. At its core, inner work is the base for self-love. So once we start to heal and connect with ourselves on a deeper level, then we'll stop to look for love and validation from the outside world, because we will have everything within ourselves. So the first practice that I want to share is self-reflection. This is simple practice. It's a very effective way to connect to our inner selves. All we need is a journal or a quiet space to sit with our thoughts. You can do that by writing or just thinking, being aware of your thoughts. And I like to do that by writing, journaling. I love journaling, and it's my go-to tool when I feel overwhelmed or anxious. So I would recommend maybe 5 to 10 minutes each day to reflect on a few questions, so you can get to know your inner world. These are very simple and easy questions to answer. Well, maybe not in the beginning, because sometimes we're not aware what we think, feel. It might not be that easy, but don't give up. Whatever it is, it's not right or wrong. It's whatever you think, you feel. So the questions are, what am I feeling right now? You can even Google a list of emotions. That's what I did back in the day. And see the emotions and see which one you think you're experiencing right now. Because sometimes it's very hard to name the emotions and the feelings that we experience. The second question is, what are the beliefs I hold about myself? Here you can be more specific. You can start just with 1 or 2 beliefs. And again, don't put a lot of pressure on yourselves. Don't overthink it. Just start writing. When you read the question, whatever pops to mind, it's not right or wrong. And you just write it. It can be 1 or 2 beliefs or as many you want. It's no pressure. It's not like a graded exercise. You're just doing it for yourself. And the third question can be where these beliefs come from. Now, don't do this on one sitting session. Take one question, the first question, and do that the whole week. You can take the second question and do that the second week. And then the third question, the same way. You go back to the beliefs and trace down where each individual belief came from. And that is a great way to start, to be more aware of your inner world and where these beliefs came from. When we start to reflect on our inner world, we notice the patterns, especially the negative ones. This awareness is the first step towards healing them. So by being aware of something, that is when we can start healing those parts of us. If we're not aware, we cannot start healing ourselves. And remember, self-love grows as we start accepting all parts of ourselves. It's not about being perfect and without flaws. Actually, on the opposite, self-love is accepting the parts of ourselves that we deemed, or society or our families, as unlovable, as unacceptable. And so many of us, I mean, I think every person on this planet has some programming from childhood. We have to accept all these parts. And for me, how I know I accepted this is if I can freely speak about it and I'm not feeling embarrassed and I don't get emotional about it. I know that I accepted that part of me. Maybe for you would be something different, but that is for me. Like if I can openly talk about it. The second practice is self-compassionate meditation. So self-compassion meditation, this is a really, really good one because many of us beat ourselves up and we're so hard on ourselves. And we just are not compassionate to ourselves. We might be compassionate to our families, children, husbands, wives, and so on, friends, but we're not compassionate to ourselves. By doing a self-compassion meditation, we can start turning inward and start being more compassionate towards ourselves. So the way to do it is find a quiet space, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Then place your hands on your heart and repeat these affirmations. You can tell them out loud or you can say them to yourself. I'm worthy of love. I'm enough just as I am. I choose to be kind to myself. So these affirmations can help us rewrite our brain and shift our self-talk from criticism to more compassionate, which is crucial when we're working towards more self-love and being just loving towards ourselves. The last practice I want to share, setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential for self-love. We teach people how to treat us. And the more we love ourselves, the more boundaries we'll have. There will be not boundaries to push people away, but to push the wrong people away. And we are going to attract and let in the right people in. So relationships will change. And I think that's a lot of fear when we start working towards self-love. At least it was for me, because you will eventually change your people you're surrounded with. I found that to be truth for me. And I think subconsciously that was one fear that I had. Like if I change and become more loving towards myself, which people will stay in my life and which people will have to go. And I thought it's like in one day I'll become this person loving towards myself and I'll drop people that are not loving towards me. And that's not the case. And not everyone is meant to be in our lives forever. And I didn't drop people. It's just I have different relationship with them. And some people stayed very close who accepted this change in me. But again, that happens over time. I started 10 years ago. My relationships changed, and every relationship changes anyways in life. So it's like ups and downs and like twists and turns and zigzags and backwards and forwards. So relationships are not linear, in my opinion. I don't know what professionals think, but in my opinion, they're not linear. So I have friends that our relationship just evolved, and with some got better, with some we became more like acquaintances and we don't share like things that we used to share. So that is all through the process of change. And I'm sure they also are working on their own path. So they change as well. So they're not static, they're not the same through life as well. So you will change towards people and people will change towards you. But not every relationship is meant to be the same, and it's not every relationship meant to be for life. Boundaries are essential for self-love because they define how we want to be treated. So we teach people how we want to be treated. And that is why it's good to take some time to reflect on where in our lives we need stronger boundaries. It could be saying no to things that drain our energy. Are we saying yes to things just because we don't want to sit still? We don't want to look inward. We don't want to be by ourselves because we don't want to confront traumas and ourselves. Are we saying yes to things because we want to please the other person and we put priority to pleasing other people and we're afraid they're not going to stay and be our friends if we say no? Whatever that is. So again, like it could be saying no to things that drain your energy and saying yes to things that enhance your life more, enrich your life, enrich your experience, and just in general make you feel good. Reflect on your own needs. What are the needs that you have? Maybe when you were a child, your needs were not important. A lot of us grew up like that, but now they are. You could give that to yourself, but it's important to know what those needs are and then eventually meet them. So setting these boundaries with yourself. And when we respect our boundaries, we tell ourselves that we are worthy of the care, the respect, the love. And that is what lasting self-love is all about, giving that to ourselves. So just to recap, start with self-reflection to build self-awareness. Practice self-compassion through meditation and set healthy boundaries that protect your energy and well-being. So these are simple practices, but when we do them consistently, they lead to a deeper and lasting self-love. So remember, self-love, again, it's a journey. The idea is not to be perfect. The idea is to accept ourselves with all our shortcomings, flaws, love ourselves despite the shortcomings, embracing the shortcomings. And this actually gives flavor to who we are. It is a hard work. It's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, zigzag, ups and downs, twists, turns, and all that. But let's be patient and gentle with ourselves along the way. This is for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, give a thumbs up. Comment below if you did any of the practices, which one did you find the most challenging? And of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you next time. Ciao.